The Intercept has a terrific story from Matt Cole and Jeremy Scahill about a private intelligence agency that the Trump administration is considering setting up outside of the CIA. This is unbelievable. Every part of this story is worse than the next part. Wait till you see how it's funded and who it's funded by. So this is of course antithetical to democracy, but let me explain it in detail. Let's go to the Intercept story. They explain the Trump administration is considering a set of proposals developed by Blackwater founder Erik Prince and a retired CIA officer with assistance from Oliver North, a key figure in the Iran-Contra scandal, to provide CIA Director Mike Pompeo and the White House with a global private spy network that would circumvent official US intelligence agencies, according to several current and former US intelligence officials and others familiar with the proposal. That's insane. That's setting up, they complain about the deep state. First of all, that is the deep state, and it's setting up a private deep state within the CIA with apparently now the person who's being proposed as the head of the CIA, Mike Pompeo, to lead it. It's circumventing our democracy. So let's find out to what purpose and by whom, because this is potentially not only disastrous, but it alters what our government is. So more details. Pompeo, a former US intelligence official, said, can't trust the CIA bureaucracy, so we need to create this thing that reports just directly to him. Now, Pompeo is going to be the head of the CIA, and according to this report, he doesn't even trust the CIA at all, the people that work under him. And instead of directing his employees to do what they are told, and remember, Pompeo is a massive right-winger, he can tell them to do what he wants, and they have to listen to him. And he says, no, I want a private intelligence agency that he could direct outside of the CIA. And same senior US intelligence official says, it is a direct action arm, totally off the books. Oh great, it's off the books. So that we can't track it, it is not accountable, it does not answer to the American people. And this is part of the intelligence agency that not only collects intelligence, but will take direct action, meaning physical violence, sometimes kidnappings, and God knows what else. Erik Prince previously was involved in our assassination program that was launched during the Bush administration in regards to Al-Qaeda. Now they never actually used that program, but they did hatch it, and he was part of it. So, but let's find out more details about this particular program. Some of the individuals involved with the proposal secretly met with major Trump donors, asking them to help finance operations before any official contracts were signed. Do you have any idea how dangerous that is? So they go to a bunch of really rich people, millionaires and billionaires, and they say, hey, we'd like a private CIA, basically. Now, who do you think that private CIA is gonna work for? You? No, by definition, it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for the American people. It will work for the people signing the paycheck. So the billionaires will have their own private CIA, and it'll be enmeshed with the CIA that currently exists. That's insanity. Now, if you're a right-winger, you think, authoritarian, great, fascist takeover, I love it. Think about this, if you set that precedent, now the left doesn't actually do this, but in your insane conspiracy theories, they do. And if you set the precedent, they theoretically could in the future. What if a liberal were to come into office and go, I don't like the current CIA. I'm gonna get George Soros to finance a private CIA that only works for the liberal agenda. That's insane. It's equally insane when the right wing does it, and probably far, far more dangerous. So, but it only gets worse, so let's continue. The proposals would utilize an army of spies with no official cover in several countries deemed, quote, denied areas for current American intelligence personnel, including North Korea and Iran. Oh great, so we're gonna send in a private army of spies funded by incredibly wealthy people with their own financial interests in mind inside Iran to go screw up our foreign policy in Iran, not coordinating not only with the CIA, but the State Department. So they can go and screw up peace deals. North Korea, and they can agitate and start wars that we then have to fight. by the way, which would also get them more contracts, bigger contracts, more money. So they have an incentive to go inside those countries and create wars. This is insanity defined. If we don't stop these, this is fascism. No, it's not an exaggeration. It's not anywhere near a hyperbole. This is exactly, to the word, to the T, how fascism starts. Okay, it keeps going and it keeps getting worse. The White House has also considered creating a new global rendition unit meant to capture terrorist suspects around the world, as well as a propaganda campaign in the Middle East and Europe to combat Islamic extremism and Iran. Now, if you think, well, okay, kidnapping Al-Qaeda guys or ISIS guys, that doesn't sound so bad. Now, if the US government is doing it and the CIA is helping, and we go and capture a terrorist, as we did in a couple of countries recently, I actually am in favor of that, because I would rather use special forces than go do what I view to be indiscriminate bombing, which hits civilians far too much. And I'm really proud of our special forces for some of the operations they've done. Some have not gone well, some have been remarkably clean and captured the target that we were looking for, who might do harm to us. But those are our special forces. If billionaires fund their own special forces, and then they go in with a vague mandate about, oh, go get the bad guys in the Middle East, and do you even know who they're working for and what their agenda is? Who are the private donors? Are they left wing, right wing? Well, in this case, you know they're right wing. Are they in favor of American foreign policy or another country's foreign policy? And what in the world would they do inside Iran in order to, quote unquote, get the bad guys, including kidnappings? And are they really going to stop at, quote unquote, Islamic extremists or anyone that they are politically opposed to inside Iran, the Middle East, or anywhere else? Or, hey, we don't like that guy either, I'm paying you, so go kidnap that guy too. It's okay, we got the blessing of the CIA director and the president. Then they have their private armies, and then there goes our democracy, okay? So, now when the White House is asked about this, they denied 8 weeks to Sunday. They say the White House does not and would not support such a proposal. Okay, that's a National Security Council spokesperson. The White House has denied it as well. So you might say, oh, maybe they got the story wrong. Maybe this has no truth whatsoever to it. I mean, private armies, that sounds ridiculous. No, of course not. They're not going to really do that, right? Well, let's dive in a little bit more and see what's already public, what's already confirmed. So they explain, at the heart of the scheme being considered by the White House are Blackwater founder Erik Prince and his longtime associate, CIA veteran John McGuire, who currently works for intelligence contractor Amnator Group. McGuire also served on Trump's transition team, so deeply connected to Trump. Now you remember Erik Prince also went to Seychelles and had a private meeting with Russian officials, which he recently finally admitted to. They won't tell us what Erik Prince and the Russian officials talked about in regards to Trump. That's also very interesting. But okay, so that's who these two guys are. So what have they done in the past? McGuire and Prince met together in September with a senior CIA official at a Virginia restaurant to discuss privatizing the war in Afghanistan. Now that is no longer a secret. In the beginning, oh no, privatizing a war, that sounds ridiculous. No, later Erik Prince came out, wrote an op-ed, went all over cable news, and made the argument that we should have a private army fighting the war in Afghanistan. Accountable to the American people? Nope, it's a private army, an army of mercenaries. Accountable to whoever signs their paychecks. Insanity, and they're now out in the open about it. So now when Prince and the White House said, oh, no, we just like a private army for Afghanistan, a private army of spies as well. What golly gee, we would never. No, we know you would. You've said publicly that you would, and that you lobbied very hard to make that happen. Okay, wait, it gets worse. So Amnator Group, and who are these guys, and who's funding them right now? Okay, Prince and McGuire have a long professional relationship. McGuire recently completed a stint as a consultant with Prince's company, Frontier Services Group, a Hong Kong-based security and logistics company partially owned by the Chinese government. Are you kidding me? So we're gonna have guys working for the Chinese government who are gonna run our private CIA, but what, for the purpose of the American people? Hell no. This is unreal, absolutely unreal. And So you don't know who will be funding them here in America. We do know that currently they are partly funded by the Chinese government. They'd like a private army, which they have admitted to fight in Afghanistan, which might lead to a larger private army, which would make Erik Prince and Maguire far richer and would make our government less accountable. Not even a democracy if we've got private armies. Now private spies. Okay, and we are to trust these people because they're really good at their job. Oh, you don't understand, they're real veterans. They know what they're doing, they're really smart and experienced. Really? So let's find out just a tiny bit more about what these guys believe. So they hold meetings at the Trump Hotel in Washington to make sure that the deep state has not tapped their phones or wired the room, okay? Now, I don't know. Look, if they're doing things that are illegal, I hope that we do have a legal warrant and are investigating them. So I don't know if their concern there is warranted or not, but other people that the Intercept talked to that knows of them, including intelligence officials, said that the room that they meet in the Trump Hotel, they have nicknamed the tinfoil room. That's not a good sign. So why? Are they nuts? What's going on here? Okay, wait till you get a load of this. Maguire told at least 2 people that National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster, in coordination with a top official at the National Security Agency, authorized surveillance of Steve Bannon and Trump family members, including Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump. Adding to these unsubstantiated claims, Maguire told the potential donors he also had evidence McMaster used a burner phone to send information gathered through the surveillance to a facility in Cyprus owned by George Soros. These guys are lunatics. But you think that the fascists in Germany were rational? No, they were also lunatics. They believed in crazy, crazy stuff, conspiracy theories about who actually ruled the world. And by the way, it's a similar conspiracy here. Oh, George Soros secretly rules the world. Like, look, if you think there's warrants out for Donald Trump, Eric Trump, and some of the stuff is being surveilled, I don't know that that's true. I would be surprised, but not shocked. If Mueller's investigation has gone further, they could have warrants and perhaps they're surveilling some things. But would it be through the National Security Advisor? No. And H.R. McMaster is deeply right-wing. Why would he spy on his own president? Okay, but even if you were to concede all of that madness, then McMaster, the right-wing National Security Advisor to Trump, is secretly reporting things to George Soros in Cyprus? That's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. These lunatics are trying to take over our government, and they are so deeply irrational that they believe in insane conspiracy theories. If any of this, remember they denied that they were going to start the private army, then they lobbied publicly to start the private army. Luckily, we didn't get that in Afghanistan. Cooler heads prevailed, but they're still trying. If they ever go towards a private army or a private CIA, they should all be impeached. And if Pompeo has anything to do with this, he should never, ever lead the CIA, who he apparently does not trust and is looking to subvert and undermine as he comes in. By the way, which fits Trump's pattern. You bring in someone who hates the EPA to destroy the EPA. You bring in someone who has said that they would like to get rid of the Department of Energy to head the Department of Energy, and the list goes on and on, same with the Department of Education. And in this case, a guy who apparently might want to destroy the CIA to lead the CIA. And if you think the CIA has done things wrong, you're absolutely right. If you think a private army, partly funded by the Chinese and partly funded by American billionaires, would do better, you're just as nuts as they are. TYT membership gets you commercial-free Young Turks. Download it, stream it, podcast it, get all the network shows, and support independent media. TYTnetwork.com/join.